What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Now, if it feels like we've been getting Disney Plus news every day for the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's because we have, and pretty indicative of just how dense the pre-production schedule's gotten over at Marvel Studios. And today, a leaked description of one of the first 6 episodes for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier set to debut at the end of this summer, and in it, the introduction of a supervillain tied to both Captain America and, more popularly, the X-Men. We're going to break down the entirety of the episode leak, of course, issue the normal spoiler warning, talk about how it lines up against both the plot leaks and the leaked set photos we've gotten thus far for The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and go over the introduction of Omega Red and why it makes so much sense for this stage in Marvel Phase 4. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel-related stuff, including a limited edition Infinity Saga box set. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So first things first, the normal spoiler warning. If this is in any way going to ruin your Falcon and Winter Soldier experience, this is a full description for presumably one of the first few of the 6 episodes coming up for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, posted anonymously to 4chan by someone who's claimed to see the episode. And while that's to be taken with a grain of salt, these things have also ended up completely right in the past, so only you know yourself. If you're susceptible to this sort of thing, you've been warned. Otherwise, let's jump right in. Posted late Sunday night anonymously to 4chan, and here's the original post. A few things from the episode of the show I saw today. Sam isn't allowed to be Cap because of the events of Civil War, but trusts US Agent to take over the mantle. US Agent genuinely wants to do a good job and doesn't realize he's part of a bigger plan. Sam and Bucky have to work with Zemo to track down a crime syndicate called the Alchemists. Zemo is essentially their hostage, but has vital information. They go to Madripoor with him, and there they meet Batroc the Leaper and Omega Red. There were other characters that the camera lingered on that might have been Easter eggs, but I didn't recognize them. Felt like the cantina scene in the MCU. Overall, the show feels a lot like Winter Soldier and the Mission Impossible movies. Agent 13 and Bucky seem to have a romance, very flirty vibes. Sam judges Bucky for it, and Bucky says, "Steve dated her like 70 years ago, made me laugh." William Hurt is in the show at least one episode, seemed to reference the events of Black Widow, but not sure. Zemo escapes from them in a speedboat at the end of the episode. Now again, while it's worth mentioning that anything posted anonymously to 4chan has to be treated with some degree of skepticism, it's impossible to deny that this doesn't read not only believably, but also like a pilot episode for a 6-series TV show, introducing all of the loose elements, starting the story right in the middle of the narrative, and introducing, of course, and immediately introducing the main antagonists and protagonists of the show, which seems to be happening here in the opening with Sam and Bucky loosely teaming up with Baron Zemo. And let's be real, guys, they're not teaming up. Zemo isn't joining the Avengers. Rather, he probably has information about the whereabouts or what's going on in Madripoor. Whatever Sam and Bucky are after, they have to work with him for the information, and that's probably why we see Bucky dropping all of the bullets instead of shooting Baron Zemo in that opening episode. Now, as far as it goes with them getting to Madripoor, we've seen on-set photos of this location, and immediately a ton of fans were quick to point out the heavy reference to the X-Men. But it seems, in the sense of this narrative, if Omega Red is truly to be introduced, one leads to the other, as Madripoor in the comics was a place of extreme wealth and extreme poverty, and because of that, a haven for pirates and crime syndicates, which relates directly back to Omega Red, who, while little is known about his origin, was a serial killer born in Russia, eventually captured by Interpol agent Sean Cassidy and turned over to the KGB, which, stop me if you've heard or seen this before, guys, experimented an attempt to make him into a super soldier similar to Captain America, for which Omega Red was the end result. Now, fans will know he was a mutant in the comics, but that hasn't stopped the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the past from altering or retconning their origins and not mentioning that. It'll be interesting to see if they do introduce Omega Red, if he will be the entrance point for mutants, making him an ample candidate for said experiments, as well as you can see how this easily ties in to the storyline we're about to get in Black Widow, as Alexei, the Red Guardian, is one of these same experiments trying to replicate the super soldier serum that Captain America took, and that's why I said that this plot leak read a little bit believable. It's sort of building into and adding details that maybe the poster wouldn't have necessarily intended, understanding how Black Widow is going to lead directly into the Falcon in the Winter Soldier TV show. And I know that at least at channels like mine, we've underestimated just how tied these storylines may be to each other, running overlapped, concurrent, and then one right into the other. And we should have known better, because that's exactly what Marvel Studios is hoping to do with the TV shows, and has already said explicitly they're doing with WandaVision, Loki, and then eventually Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And it's for that reason alone that normally when I'm completely skeptical, and always will be, of anything posted to 4chan anonymously, this sort of has an air of believability about it, and might just be the pilot episode for the first 6 episodes in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, if they're going to introduce Omega Red and at any point during the series, it's interesting, and not just because he's a mutant or invoking the imagery of the X-Men, but specifically Wolverine. The Soviet government implanted a retractable carbonadium tentacle within each of Omega Red's arms. Carbonadium was the Soviets' attempt to recreate the artificial alloy known as adamantium, but we don't yet have adamantium in the MCU. And of course, carbonadium's not as strong as it, but it works for a different purpose with Omega Red. He uses his tentacles to sort of grapple and drain the life out of his victims, much in a different way that we've seen the adamantium claws on Wolverine just basically cut and smash everything. But it's still the same premise of putting metal into a mutant's body and allowing their healing factor and regenerative purposes to help deal with that, and sort of brings towards the Weapon X of it all. And while Omega Red might have not been everybody's immediate choice as a villain to introduce into the MCU, with his seeming ties to the groundwork they've already laid with Soviet Russia in the Infinity Saga, his then crossover to Weapon X leading directly to Wolverine, maybe it's the perfect jumping off point for that to be in the MCU. And I don't think that Marvel Studios is going to go this far now with the reuniting of all of their rights, introduce Omega Red, not to have it lead to Wolverine, and not make him a mutant, which means very likely if we do get Omega Red in the MCU, while they may not come out and say it in the very first episode, it may be the first appearance of what we know for mutants coming up, and that's super exciting to happen in a Disney Plus television show if he doesn't show up beforehand. Purely speculating here and thinking out loud, but with Black Widow the only release between now and then, and the heavy rumors of a mutant introduction during that film, and now rethinking how connected the Black Widow storyline may be to the Falcon in the Winter Soldier, it may be the case that they choose to cameo Omega Red during this film, and that would be the introduction of mutants that's been making its way around the internet for the better part of 6 months as related to a Black Widow scene, specifically during the film, and maybe even during that prison scene when we see in the trailer the doors blow off behind the Red Guardian. And it would also make sense for a film that's run out basically 3 trailers that have all been the same trailer. It could be the case they can't show much other footage because of enormous spoilers like, well, you know, battling against Omega Red or the introduction of mutants. Again, guys, just pure speculation, but Kevin Feige did say that Black Widow would make us see the events of the Infinity Saga in a whole new light. Let me know what you think in the comments about all of this. A, the introduction of Omega Red, were you aware that he had so many ties to the Infinity Saga and to the X-Men? How he would play a role in all of this seems to make sense, right? And of course, if you agree with me that if they're introducing Omega Red, someone who's a mutant who's had metal put in his body, that of course this is going to lead to Weapon X and the X-Men, and of course Wolverine, which I bet Marvel Studios is banking on, no matter how far that is out, that'll get fans excited knowing that one leads to the other. Let me know how you feel about Omega Red, as well as the new idea that Black Widow's storyline may play directly into the Falcon in the Winter Soldier in a way that none of us really anticipated. I'm all ears, and quickly let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, the next of which is at the 600,000 subscriber mark we are headlong into and could easily hit in the next 4 or 5 days. All you have to do to be entered to win, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell with notifications turned on, leave a like and a comment on this video, and that'll automatically enter you to win all the rest of the prizes at the channel, like the limited edition Infinity Saga box set. We gave the first one away on New Year's Eve. This one we'll give away on the 2nd anniversary of the channel in the end of April. Man, how quickly that's gone by. If you want to be entered to win either of the PlayStations, the limited edition Infinity Saga box set, or any of the other prizes as we double down over the next 2 years, hopefully all the way up to $1 million, All you have to do, and all the same rules will always apply: hit the subscribe button, notification bell with notifications turned on, leave a like and a comment on this video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, and if you've missed any of those past announcements, especially here real recently, no worries. All you have to do, scroll back to the channel, look for the winner announcement and the sub count in the title, click that video, scroll to the end. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always, guys. Thanks so much for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.